When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings!
Hey.
You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake, and we're here to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh, boy.
All right.
Alright.
So, I guess I'll go first this time around. We're going to try and move quickly, but we've got a decent amount. We got about 6 items this time around. Keeping it shorter so we can keep these videos a little bit shorter for you guys out there in TV land, or YouTube land, or whatever land you like.
Exactly.
So this first item comes with a story.
Oh.
A friend of mine online, and I have some connections within the collecting community. He likes to watch a lot of films on a variety and end up getting a 4K player. So he decided to make me an offer. And that was for this region-free Blu-ray player.
Nice.
Now this Sony player, he said he barely used it. He thinks it still works for the most part. It had, he only used it for those that he could not find. It was a lot for just titles he could not find in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Or ones that were way too expensive in their United States counterparts. Mm-hmm. And with me and my Evil Dead dilemma, I decided, okay, I'll bite. How much? He said, just pay me the shipping. I've already got one to replace it. I just want to get rid of it. Pay me the shipping. You're good to go. So, $10.
Nice.
So I was like, if it works or not, it's $10. I'm not going to sleep over it.
Mm-hmm.
And it does work. I watched a little bit of the Evil Dead 2 to know that it does work on the region. And also I watched, this week's Inside Movies Galore, which is Frozen, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Not the animated Frozen. So, it works. So now I have a region-free player. I might actually look at some of those Aniplex titles
This is
overseas.
a appropriate region Frozen copy, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
It's just I was upstairs and we were surrounded by the snow. It was appropriate.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
So, still. I probably will start looking into some of those that are way overpriced Aniplex titles here, because sometimes the UK releases are like $30 as opposed to $150 when, you know.
And also there are shows that get releases in the UK or Australia. Or,
yeah, that just don't get it here.
Yeah.
I'd have had When They Cry a long time ago.
Well, yeah. Well, you should see if there's a Cheeky Angel release or something.
It's always possible. When I get money again, it might actually be worth checking out.
So, speaking of Inside Movies Galore, I know you had said that you were looking forward to a discussion on this one. If you have not done it yet, then you'll have to let me know, and I'll try and get this a priority. But for my Criterion pickups, I still have a couple Criterion pickups from November. And one of them is the first Blu-ray that I have picked up for Akira Kurosawa. And it is Kagemusha. And so I now have this one. It's really, I mean, that's got a hell of a lot of special features.
Because that was one that Dave and I were supposed to do talk about. We just never got to it.
But that's one that I've been wanting to see for a while anyway. It's one of Kurosawa's more recent films. 1980 is actually, obviously not the most recent, but, you know, relatively so.
Yeah.
In color, it's one of his relatively small number of color films from what I know. You know, what do I know? But but like I said, I am excited to have one of them on Blu-ray. The main thing that's less exciting is that it is 3 hours long, so that's going to be an epic watch. And there's a crap ton of bonus features, which means that to do my video for that, I'm going to be spending some time with this one. But I'm excited to have it, though.
It was a decent one. It was a harder one for me. I don't remember whether I did a review on it or not, but it was still worthwhile. Kurosawa is an excellent director. Well, I decided to go ahead with some stuff that I have watched already, and so it's not even new anymore. And for my other ones, with the exception of one item at the last. And this starts off with one I've had in my collection for ages, yet have not brought over here. And that is the Tenchi Muyo Specials, which has the Pretty Sammy and the Galaxy Police Mihoshi Space Adventure. This is actually not available, to my knowledge, in any other format. So you get the other collections, this is off of it, and this is also out of print because this is by Pioneer, which went under a long time ago and was cannibalized, as you know they do in that industry. But it's a fun little two special run. If you haven't seen Tenchi, it's about this guy who is in a temple, and aliens come down from outer space, and demons apparently are resurrected from shrines, and all of them are in love with him because he is the everyman that you can, of course, reflect and put your own personality in. The typical...
It's sort of the granddaddy of all harem series.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if it's the first, but it's definitely one of the most recognized early harem show, where you've got the milquetoast guy and all of the girls fawning over him, so you can project your own personality into that person. It's kind of, but still, it is a fun series, has a lot of good action, and some funny characters. Don't let my initial harem description fool you. I am a fan, and I do have the entire series and the entire manga run. So,
Yep. I was introduced more to the spin-off GXP, which does have a great opening theme. Okay, so another one that I have from my Sentai pickups from the recent sales is one that he has showed me and said that it was a really great show, and I agree, it was a really fun show. And that is the Kawaii Complex Guide to Manners and Hostile Behavior, which is a short series, is a 12 episodes plus an OVA, about this guy who moves into an apartment complex with this very interesting landlord. And, of course, you got the usual assortment of tenants, well, usual for an anime assortment of tenants, the boozy office worker, the pervert, and then the girl that the guy loves, who is obsessed with reading, and is very, 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 very dense when it comes to relationships.
very introverted.
Very introverted. And you've got, it's just a really fun show. It's really well done from what I recall. We took a while getting through it because of timing issues, but I think we got through it all.
Yeah, it's just like, if we get done early today, we get to watch one more episode of, I think we can start season 2 of Gravity Falls.
And to be honest, I do not recall how much this was, but it was not a lot. It was either one of the $8 ones or one of the $12, $13. But either way, it was a really good price, and very happy to have that one.
Yeah, I have it on the DVD, but it is a worthwhile series to get. I have enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the manga. It makes me sad that this one, they kind of ended it after 13 episodes. I do wish that there was more. Because, again, manga gets even better with the relationship status. So another one I've had for a little while, and again, I talked a little bit about it when I was watching through it, and that is Black Books. This is a harder one to get. I found it for relatively cheap, $50, which is still expensive, but better than the $200 I usually see this thing going for.
It's a BBC, so...
Yeah. It is out of print. It has all 3 seasons of this series. It's about an individual who is an asshole, and he runs a bookstore. He takes on this guy who is sort of a hippie type character as his worker, and then of course she is a fellow shop owner in the district, kind of nosy person. It is a fun series. It's one of those series where they kind of sit around, do nothing, and the comedy kind of moves on its own because of, well, the characters themselves and the personalities. I do enjoy this series. Black Books is worth a look. And I think you can still check this out on streaming. But if you do see this, grab it up.
Another one that comes in 3 pieces that is typically rather expensive, but I managed to get it on this last Right Stuff sale, the holiday sale. Right Stuff is pretty much reliably at this point. Every time they have a sale, it seems they're putting up their remaining stock of NIS America releases.
Yes.
And unfortunately, most of them are becoming very hard to get. One that I finally got this go around, I think it cost $80, I think it was $70 for all 3 parts. I think it was $70 for all 3 parts. Is this one that I've been wanting to see for a while. Kimi ni Todoke, From Me to You. I unfortunately had to go with the standard editions because the premiums are way out of print. But the standard, it's a DVD Blu-ray 2-pack or combo packs. You got set 1, set 2, and set 3.
Ah, good series.
It is a series I've been wanting to see for some time. It's more of a shoujo-oriented series, but again, relationship kind of series. And what is this? 20. Trying to figure out how many. It's the way they're labeled. It's harder to figure out episode length here. So I'm guessing they did 2 seasons, and one is longer than the other by far. It's the way it looks.
It looks really good. And it irks me with that series because I had all 3 premium sets. And they were sent to me, and they were recorded as delivered. But I never got them.
Yeah.
And that's really irks me. And all eBay did was, meh.
Yeah, that sucked.
So...
You did ultimately get this version.
Yeah,
right?
I do have the standard. As I say, I have every series that they have released. Maybe not all of them in NIS format, but all of the series I do have. Now, at least.
I have most of them. Well, many of them.
Now for one that is just for completionist records, and because the prices are going way out of hand. And that is Ren and Stimpy: The Lost Episodes. This is the Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon that came out on, God, what is that network that was for men? Spike TV, I think.
Maybe.
It was over the top on purpose and got so over the top that they stopped airing it because it was too over the top. And I admit, it goes out of its way to be as disturbing as humanly possible. So it's basically the madness that was the creator of Ren and Stimpy, but unleashed to its full potential, which is quite a nightmarish thing to see.
Sounds like it.
But still, if you like Ren and Stimpy and you want to complete, you really should try and find this because it is out of print and it has gone. The price has just shot up. I found a copy for $10 that before this Goodwill had gotten the word, and they're pretty good about looking at the word for eBay, because everybody else was selling it for $100. I was like, okay, $10. Okay, fine, I gotta get this darn thing. So I finally got it.
Very good.
I'm not sure if it's worth $10, but sure as heck ain't worth $100.
Right. Now the next one sure as hell is worth $10 or more, but I got it for less. I think I paid $8. But this one was one of my very favorite films of the past few years. I absolutely love the movie. Saw it twice in theaters, And then when it came out on Blu-ray, it just refused to come down in price. It was hovering at like $20 or more for a full year after its release. And then finally, in this Black Friday, I managed to get it for like $8. And I'm talking, of course, of Greta Gerwig's directorial debut, Lady Bird, which with Saoirse Ronan, and also
How much did you say?
it was $8.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also got Laurie Metcalf and the Timothy Chalamet and Lucas Hedges and some other folks, and Tracy Letts, Beanie Feldstein, who I believe was Jonah Hill's sister. Yeah. So this is a really, really, really good movie. It's a coming-of-age dramedy about this girl who calls herself Lady Bird, who doesn't get along very well at all with her mother, and yet they have this really tight relationship. Like, one of the coolest things of the movie is the way they show their relationship, and both of them deserve their Oscar nominations that they got for that. Metcalf narrowly lost the supporting actress win.
Did you put this one up to be a winner for one of the categories? I can't remember.
I had chosen it, I think, for supporting actress, which I lost. Allison Janney won for I, Tonya.
I was surprised. I thought it was going to get something, but I admit I, Tonya kind of had it.
Yeah.
I did pretty well with my research. I look forward to trying that again this year, see if it works again.
But it is really cool, and I really like the art style and everything, like the way they make it look like stained glass on the side, and that sort of gothic font or whatever the heck that's called. It's just a fun, but it was just a fun movie, and I may have to pair it with Coco again just for shits and giggles. But yeah, very happy to finally have that one.
Yeah, I had to...
I'll have to pair it with I, Tonya.
Yeah,
I need to watch that.
I did have a rule in there that said I couldn't buy it unless it was at least $10 or less. Mm-hmm. So yeah, $8 would have definitely hit that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you haven't got it yet?
I do, but I haven't presented it yet. Now here's one that was a great buy. Mm-hmm. I got this for under $100. And I didn't think I was going to get it, but then eBay told me, oh, by the way, they reduced the price.
Ooh.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to get it now. And that is one that, in a way, I felt like I did not have enough to get this, but I felt like otherwise I would not have finished my NIS collection without it, because I'm missing an episode. And that would be the Toradora Premium
Very nice.
Edition.
Very nice.
Now, I've had this for a little while now, but I've been watching on it to make sure it's okay, and it's kind of cool. It has a few things that the original release does not have. I'm not sure I want to show that picture. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is what came up.
Yeah,
so,
I saw it.
Yeah, that's probably not as friendly to throw on.
Let me have a look while you're...
He wants to see the naughty pictures. So
the naughty bits.
But again, it's a decent enough set. It's Blu-ray and DVD. The differences between it and the original release are just a few.
That's really cool.
There are a few more extras when it comes to some of the previews. They have one extra that was not on the original release. Because what they had on the original release, they did have some previews, of course. They had the clean opener enders, and they did have the Toradora SOS. But what they did not have was a very short thing, which was Ami's impersonations, which was sort of the blackmail tape that she took of Ami later on. And this one also has two other features that are not on the original release. One of them is it's all in English dub. You have of course, you have sub option, but still, to have an English dub, that's really cool. It's not something you get often with NIS. And at the same time, they also had the OVA, which is the Bento OVA, which is just kind of a cool thing to see.
Okay, I wanted to find a picture, and I can only find one in the whole book. on the right hand there, you can kind of, there we go. You see the little tiger? Like I said, her name is the Palm Top Tiger, and they have this little chibi tiger that stands in for her in some episodes.
It's a nice little art book.
Yeah.
And I really do love this series. It is probably one of NIS's better releases.
I do envy you that set. It's pretty cool.
On top of that, it has a really good story, very good writing and characters, and seeing it again really did bring me bring it that much higher on my anime list as far as top series. It is probably one of my top, one of my top 10s. I haven't decided that yet, but that should be decided probably later on.
Cool. All right. Next one I actually got really cheap on Black Friday. I don't remember exactly if it was... Actually, I think this was also an $8 one, but it's a series, which makes it pretty good for $8. It's one that I've been wanting to see but have not yet watched. But my brother wants to see it too, so maybe when we can coordinate it, that's when we'll end up seeing it. This is an FX series. It's loosely based on the X-Men comics, called Legion. Starred Dan Stevens, and Aubrey Plaza stars in that one? I didn't know that.
That's one I've been curious about.
Yeah, I'm very curious about it. It's loosely based on the stories of David Haller, who is Charles Xavier's son, and has multiple personalities, each of which has their own superpower. And he's a very interesting character overall. I'm curious to see what they did with that character. The show got pretty decent notices.
Yeah,
so
shoot, he caused the entire Age of Apocalypse. Which I think I still have. I can't remember whether I have those comics left or not. I
have
purged
a lot of them.
I purged a lot of my collection. I used to have the entirety of it. It is an awesome series. So, I'm sure that I do need to watch these. Now,
you got a bunch of
I
them.
was waiting on this for a long time. I love Star vs. Force of Evil. It is probably one of my favorite animated shows of all time. American animated. And I thought to myself, why are there no Pop figurines? It's getting ready to go into season 4 this summer. It's their final season. And now finally, this week, they come out with their Pop figures. 4. Well, 4 to be exact. More than 2. So the 4 that we get are Tom, who is her current boyfriend in the series, with a slight anger issue. Ludo, who is sort of a villain for most of the series. Not so much now. He's kind of off to the side at this point. But he was a villain for most of the series. Of course, Marco, who is a foil and potential romantic interest for the main character later on.
It looks like he's got one of the laser puppies in his...
He does. He's got the laser eye puppies in there. And then finally, Star herself. I mean, you gotta admit, Star would have to be there. It'd be kind of crappy if, we released 4, Star wasn't one of them. So there's only been 4 released. That's probably the only 4 that we will get, because again, the series is ending. Unless they have a revival or something. But I am glad that we finally got that. I've been waiting for those for a long time. There's another set of them. Actually, I got a lot of Pops over the Christmas time because it was a sales on them. And mainly because of the ones coming out. And most of them were not released yet. Like, I got my wife the entire royal family because they finally released this December the Meghan Markle and the wedding. The wedding thing with both of them together. So I got the entire one with the Queen and, of course, the other 2. And the Queen comes with a Corgi. And, of course, I have another set of them that's coming. And you'll see that when they do get here, hopefully in March.
All right.
You got a last one.
My last one. I will admit, one reason we did an extra one this week is so I could go ahead and do all the... You may have noticed an alphabetic theme. I've figured, what the heck, I can get all the K's and L's if I do just one extra. And as stated before repeatedly, I got a lot of new stuff I want to get through, and I don't want to be still doing Christmas stuff in August. So, anyway.
What?
So, this one is a series I've been wanting for a while. It got pretty good notices when it came out, but it's a subgenre that's become a little bit oversaturated lately, and I think when I was telling you about this one, I think you were kind of like, nah. But I got both volumes of the series Log Horizon.
Meh.
Which basically, like SAO and a bunch of other series, basically is about online role-playing. And I believe the gist of this is that these people are pulled into the world that they're playing and have to actually play the game. Much like SAO, but different setup. But I have heard good things about the show overall. I've been very curious about it, and these were not expensive. Usually they're pretty pricey to get both volumes. I can't remember if they were 12 each. They may have been less, but they weren't more. So, finally got that. Hey, Mr. Larson, how you doing?
He's the noisy one.
Yeah.
He's in mourning right now, so that's because his littermate died last week.
Yeah, but, well, that does it for me for the week.
Yeah, I saw the first episode of Log Horizon,
Yeah.
and it just didn't appeal to me.
Okay.
But what do you all think? Is Log Horizon your favorite show? I mean, do you? And if
Or do
it
you
is,
prefer that Ren and Stimpy party pack?
well, yeah, it says Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon your favorite show of all time. Let us know in the
do you
comments
think, Phil?
below. But what have you picked up this week? We'll
What?
see you on the next one.
Goodbye.